So I just watched that entire video that I just recorded, and I point out some things about myself that I notice. You know, blatant hypocrisy I can see coming out of my mouth. Sometimes I sound judgmental, and sometimes my friend, he told me that I sound preachy, you know, and that's not a good thing. I mean, a lot of people, when they start to preach, they're very turned off. I mean, that's my experience, but, or at least people just who don't know, or don't care to know. I mean, it's kind of like, oh, you're that guy, or whatever, you know, and I sound like that sometimes, which is, I don't want to sound like that guy, you know, I don't, so, I just want to let everybody, I don't want to disturb anybody, if you're, want to listen, if you jive with anything I say. I like shit because it's weird, like not saying I mean, the philosophy's different. I mean, some people might consider it weird, for sure, so, I don't know, maybe I'm just weird. I think I'm weird, that's my conditioning, because the other majority of society doesn't really jive with, my thinking process or my comments. But I mean, just because I'm not popular, I mean, doesn't mean that I don't have, like, really, I mean, I feel like I have a lot of direction and a lot of, like, thinking skills and a lot of, like, after reading Prabhupada's books, I just feel, like, way smarter, so that's good. And, I'm trying to use it in service for him as much as I can. I created another YouTube channel, just posting videos. I've got about 3 or 4 YouTube channels, and my main channel I don't even share with anybody. This is a channel I just started on my own. I haven't told anybody about it, so if you found this, you just found it purely by some search function, and I don't know, let me know down below, because I just want private. I don't want to, if I don't know you and you judge me, and I don't really care, but, I got this thing where if my other base of friends know me and see me doing these types of videos, then what are they going to think about me? I mean, if they found out, some way I wouldn't care too much if I had some troll or something that came and tried and expose me, but, I'm not very popular. I mean, like, who wanted to waste their time on some fucking low level, some guy like me? So still I got a bad mouth, and part of the reason about, smoking weed for me, why it's not such a terrible thing, is because I always do something creative. Like these videos, like, and I want to start playing my flute, and I want to start listening to my stereo, so, I mean, it's like, I'm gonna learn how to do those things sober too, but, see, I make all these excuses for my cannabis consumption, but from the Bhagavad Gita, I know, it's like, I feel like I'm getting something out of it, but it's actually only taking some away. It's the illusion. This is the age of hypocrisy, and that's why I'm a hypocrite, but I gotta try and not be one. I mean, and greed, and quarrel, and unnecessary talks, and materialism, and misogyny, and all these not so nice characteristics. I mean, there's a lot of very nice characteristics too, like abundance, food, electricity, clean water, fuel, vehicles, all these things. I'm so fortunate, I'm so lucky, to be living the way I'm living, having these toys, but I'm not having these literatures, but I gotta, try and fulfill myself, and that truly lies in self-control, and that is the kind of deepest paradigm you can go into, or deepest state of awareness comes from a man who is totally self-controlled in those 4 regulative principles of no illicit sex, no intoxication, no meat eating, no gambling, And by following and making austerities and penances, living an austere life, studying, reading, chanting, doing all these things. So I'm doing a lot of them, but I'm just gotta keep working away at it. I don't have anything left now. I mean, the only hoot I took tonight was been 4 days, so that's progress. And there's nothing left, so I managed to make one little hoot, so I was like, screw it, you just get those parts of your willpower that just say no. So, I hope I'm not looking at this Krishna consciousness thing as like some kind of addiction resource for me, because from my background, coming from a recovery orientated background with Alcoholics Anonymous, it's a spiritually based program where they make you want to turn it over to a higher power. And so maybe that's my allure, is this higher power finally. It's like, I think Prabhupada said in one of his quotes, like, if it's right here in front of you, why don't you accept? It was kind of that meeting he did with all those scientists and PhDs or doctors in the garden, and he said, here's the God, all the big acharyas believe in it, Ramacharya, and so on, why don't you accept? And there's just silence, and I love it. So I gotta be careful about that too, is sentiment versus devotion, like one of the first Prabhupada books I read was Planting the Seed, where he came, to India in 1965, and Jaladuta, and to Boston, and went up to New York, and his everything that happened. So, it's kind of like a remarkable thing that happened to this man, and it's kind of astonishing how this whole movement just happened. And for me, it was like a volcano. After you think of it, I think of a volcano that explodes, it's like, and then the whole movement just blew up. And, I watched how, he went to San Francisco after New York, and then he did this music festival, I think, who was headlining there? Janis Joplin and the Animals, I think, were there, and and Prabhupada was there, it's kind of with the hippie counterculture, there's something there that resonates with the kind of hippies, and so I'm diseased, old age. I'm lucky I have my hair. My hair stopped falling out when I stopped drinking, but I never did gain back the hair that I did lose from the drinking. I used to have really thick hair, and the poison. So I don't know why I'm so attracted to this philosophy. It probably cut my recovery background, and it is kind of transcendental, and I'm just trying to quit my bad habits and follow the regulations and make it further progress in this spiritual program. It's nice to see, watch the people in the movement do it, and, but I've been smoking weed for so long, and it just doesn't go away just like that, but, I'm a freaking default too, One time I met a guy on the street, and he kind of gave me, I thought he was really smart. And sometimes people just don't stop. They're just kind of zombie-like, and they can never stop. And that's kind of great. And, and sometimes I think myself that guy. Just out of fucking sheer ignorance. But, on the other end, is it really, really a big deal? I just enjoy like a little bit of weed sometimes. It's not ruining my life. It does disrupt it, but 5 seconds.